Build a beautiful to-do list SwiftUI app. So this is the application we'll be creating today. As you can see, it allows the user to filter on the list. At the moment, the list has 3 records in there. So if I type in L, then it filters on all the records. That includes the letter L. And we can also rearrange the records in the list. To do that, all you have to do is click on the edit button on the top right hand corner, and then you can rearrange your records as what I'm doing here. And then if you want to delete a record from the list, you just click on done and you just swipe from the right and it will delete a record. And if you want to update the status of a record, for example, you've done it, you've completed the task, or some other action has happened, you can just click on it and then it crosses out the record. So what else will we be doing? Oh yeah, and also this feature. If you type in a record that's not in the list, it will show a no results view. So this is the actual feature we'll be creating in this tutorial. The next thing we need to do is to enable swipe to delete, and the purpose of enabling swipe to delete is to allow the user to delete any of their tasks at any time. So the user will swipe from the right and then this delete button would be displayed. So to do that, what we need to do is to add the following code after line 64. Which is dot on delete offset in. The reason why we're using an offset because we have to know the position in the array or within the list that includes the record that needs to be deleted at offset, and then we pass in the offsets. We don't need that closing bracket there. And also to enable the user to move items up and down, as in rearrange. For example, they can move an item from the top to the middle or to the bottom. To do that, we need to add the following code, which is anywhere after line 69, which is dot move or dot on move src, which is the source, and dst, which is the destination where the drop will take place. Task dot move from offsets. So that's the source that we're moving, and we're moving the source to the following destination. which is DST. And also we need to define a header. Is that correct? I'll just compile it. And I think that header is in the wrong place. Or I've got too many brackets. Let me compile it again. Yeah, that bracket should be there. So I think maybe the header should be defined on this line. Let me try to compile it. It's still incorrect. Missed out a bracket somewhere. Let me do it again. So closing bracket there. I'll delete this bracket. It seems a bit better now. And then now I can define the header. And then within the header, what else do we need to do? So we need a text element. And the purpose of the text element is to include the caption name task as seen here. Font, subheadline, text, case, none. That should be none. And then the next thing we need to do is to style the type of list that we want to use. List style dot init, inset group, and the purpose of using list style dot inset group is to create a modern list with a modern appearance. And then we also set the scroll content background to be hidden. And the purpose of hiding the scroll content background to be hidden is to enable our custom background to be shown. Then the next thing we need to do is to add our navigation title, and that will include the caption task. And then we add our toolbar, our toolbar will include the edit button as seen, is it in this image? As seen here at the top, the edit button. So to create the edit button, first thing we need to do is to create a toolbar item with a placement of top bar trailing. And then we add our edit button. Do I need that one there? No, that's not needed there. So the bracket on line 85, I'll just push it down there. And then we also need to create another toolbar item with a placement of bottom bar. And the purpose of that toolbar item is to place an input bar at the bottom. And then also we have a Hstack spacing of 12 pixels. In the Hstack we have our text field, which is our input field for our toolbar placement that we just created. Text, and then the information that will be assigned to the variable is new title. And that's where the user types a new task using two-way binding. We just styled the text field to be rounded border. and then we add a submit label. That should be submit label done. And then we'll also use on submit and then pass in the task that we want to add. And then we create our button. That we'll call add task. And when the button is tapped, we'll call add task and add that task onto the array. So it calls this function afterwards. And we add our label. Other label. We'll add system image plus dot circle dot fill. But we don't need that extra bracket there. I'll just compile it again. And then we also need to add a feature that enables the button to be disabled when there's no information in the new title variable. So if the new title variable on line 90, if it's blank, that means the button should be disabled. So just add dot disabled new title dot trim characters in, so it's trimming it for white spaces. After it trims it for white spaces, if it's still blank, then that means the button will be disabled. We also add some padding, dot horizontal, that adds some padding to the bottom bar. And after line 100 and after line 107, we need to use searchable, and the purpose of searchable is to enable the user to search for their task using the search bar, and then the task will be filtered, as you can see, within the results. searchable, and then we pass in the criteria that we want the information to be filtered on, and then we display search as the caption, search task. And we also add a background color, which is UI color dot system group background, and that will match the group list as well, that background. And we also add some animation dot snappy for the value. We just choose the task, and what that will do, it will animate the UI smoothly when the tasks change, such as if we add or delete or move any of the items in the list. And we also want to animate the search query as well. We'll animate the UI when the search query changes. Animate.snappy value query. And this is what it should look like at the end.